Shalom, this is Amonute, Tayac of Piscataway, your friendly neighborhood Shuman, Sophia Spiritualite, the AmaruKhan Miriyam, and we're here with another research video. Settle in. Obviously, you see it's going to be a long one. I have seen a lot of things in the last few weeks, but especially in the last few days. And I've been trying to put them together. So I've been sharing videos about the Basque people, and I received some very, very, very helpful feedback on who they are. And I've been able to do some additional research. So I'm going to give you the general philosophy or the general conclusion or the research question. Let's be scientific about this. This was my research question. This is what I was trying to figure out, or this is what I was looking for. We know that the Old Testament especially is coded. Okay, it's coded for our protection, to be quite honest, because there's no way the information would have persisted if it was not coded in such a way that it would get to us at this time for us to have the opportunity to decode it. And what I mean by that, look at all the documents that we don't have access to because they weren't coded. So when whoever got their hands on them, they just discarded them because they were too obvious. They got to the point. So since the Bible has been coded for our protection, my next question was, okay, what are the ciphers? Because if it's a code, then there's a cipher. One of the ciphers we discovered together on this channel would be, understanding that Saul as king became possessed by Odin, which was indicated by the fact that he tried to attack David with a javelin twice. And the imagery of two javelins is related to Odin imagery. And so since, that indicated to me, and from that moment, that I really needed to look into the Scandinavian mythology, the Viking mythology, and what it was influenced by, its influence, in order to gain a greater understanding of what the original code is. This is all about deciphering the code. So as a result, I've been looking for, okay, well, what came before the Vikings? What was their mythology based on? So then I went into the Romans, and we talked a little bit about the Roman mythology and the Etruscan mythology, which is basically the pre-Roman, and that was the discussion of Juno and Ops and all of that. And so I said, well, what came before that? Because obviously that was influenced by something else. What is the origin story for that mythology? Well, it led me to, not by my choice, the mother herself brought this up, because I did not know where to look. I did not know how to look. But it brought me to this discussion of the Basque people. Now, if you and that's what I recently shared videos on, the Basque people, and eventually we'll go into that in a little bit more depth. But I want to focus on their spiritual mythology, and the reason why that's what I focus on, I am a shaman, and so we have to know how to journey into the shamanic of the other world. And the only way to know how to journey into the other world is to know who you're encountering. Who are the gatekeepers? Who are the ones who are doing the work, and not the ones who say they're doing the work? Just like in our waking world, the ones who say that they're doing the most are probably not doing anything. And so I don't want those people to tell me. I want to get it from the source. And so this is a expedition in seeking. This is an expedition in understanding. And this is an expedition in blind faith and trust because I have no idea what I'm going to find. And I don't know what I don't know until I start to do the research. Then I start to see how little I really understand about any of this stuff, to be quite honest. And so this video is going to attempt to delve into the goddess Mari. Now, what you should immediately notice is that Mari sounds a lot like Mary, which sounds a lot like Miriyam, which I have been telling you all for as long as I can remember that Mary was a title, an absolute 100% title to denote a specific entity, a specific job. And so this is really, I believe, wrapping this up, this whole thing up, so you can see Mary is a title. Miriyam is a title. Mother Mary is a title. That's Mary in her mother form. Theotokos is a title. We already knew that, but this should, I hope, wrap this up in a way that most people would not even bother doing because they just don't do it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. All right, so let's go into the goddess Mari. All right, so of course they say this something's wrong with this article, but we're going to read most of this. Like I said, this is going to be a long video, so just settle in. Mari, also called Mari Uraka and Botoko Mari, the Lady of Anboto, and Murumendiko Dama, Lady of Murmuindi, the main goddess of the pre-Christian Basque mythology. She is married to the god Sugar, also known as Sugoi or Maju. Legends connect her to the weather. When she and Maju travel together, hail will fall. Her departures from her cave will be accompanied by storms or droughts, and which cave she lives in at different times will determine dry or wet weather. Wet when she is in Anboto, dry when she is elsewhere. The details vary. Other places where she is said to dwell include the chasm of Murmuindi, the cave of Gurutegori, and a bunch of other places, although it's not always possible to be certain which Basque legends should be considered the origin, okay? Etymology is believed that Mari is a modification of Imari, which is gift, or Amari, which is mother, the suffix of profession, by losing the first vowel. The closest in names between Mary and Mari may have helped the pagans, which is our people, adapt their worship of Mari to undertake Christian veneration of the Virgin Mary, who has all the same characteristics of Mari. Basque is Andre Maria, or Biscayan is Andra Mari. And I just want to, they're going to be talk a lot about Biscayne Bay, which there is a Biscayne Boulevard in Miami, which I've spent quite a lot of time at. So you may start to understand why certain people, including the Professional Victims Unit number 2 and some of the, Levites and Judites, have coalesced around that area and basically bought it up because they may know something that you don't know. The first known written citation of the Dame of Amboto was made by Charles Veed's chronicler Esteban de Garibe Zamaloa in his Memorial Historical Español. All right, myths associated with Mari. Mari is the main character in Basque mythology, having a godlike nature, unlike other creatures that share the same spiritual environment. Mari is often witnessed as a woman dressed in red, just like in the icons. She is also seen as a woman of fire, woman tree as a thunderbolt. Additionally, she is identified with red animals, as in the red heifer, red ram, red horse, and with the black he-goat. Mari is associated with various forces of nature, including thunder and wind. Mari lives underground, normally in a cave in a high mountain, where she and her consort Sugar meet every Friday. Where the witch meeting is, or for us this year has been what? Sabbath. Sabbath is the witch meeting. This is why they have it on Friday, okay? To conceive the storms that will bring fertility or sometimes disaster to the land and to the people. Mari is served by a court of Sorgenak witches, which is said to feed on the negation and affirmation, that is, falsehood. So these are the witch mothers. Anyway, Santa Marina, a saint revered in Basque country, is a Christianized version of Mari. Basque women still invoke Santa Marina's protection against curses and aid for childbirth. The most accepted syncretism is with the Virgin Mary. She is widely venerated by modern Catholic Basque. Let's read about her consort, Sugar, just for a minute. Ooh, a double-headed serpent. Interesting. All right. In Basque mythology, Sugar is the male half of a pre-Christian male half. Okay, of a pre-Christian Basque deity associated with storms and thunder. He is normally imagined as a dragon or a serpent. Unlike his female consort Mari, there are very few remaining legends about Sugar. The basic purpose of his existence, the reason that is because they took all the myths related to Mari and gave them to Sugar and gave them to Mari so that she had all the power. So she was the all-powerful one. Then they worshipped her as the all-powerful one and told you to worship the male half and not the female half. As you can note, this little symbol on the page looks like a swastika. So now you kind of understand what that guy with the funny mustache was up to, trying to unite Mari with Sagar, okay? The basic purpose of his existence is to periodically join with Mari in the mountains to generate the storms. The storm is upon us, right? In one myth, Sagar seduces a Scottish princess in the village of Mundaka to father the mystical first Lord of Biscay, Juan Zuria. This legend is believed to be a fabrication made to legitimize the lordship of Biscay. We're going to look into that in a second. As a separate state from Navarre, because there is no historical account of any such lord. Only the fact that the delegates of Mundaka were attributed to the formal privilege of being the first to vote in Blitzar Parliament of the province may look as unlikely indication the partial veracity of the legend. The name Sugar from the surge, serpent, and R, male, the male serpent. So you have the female serpent and the male serpent. What do they say? Little girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. Okay, talking about Mary. All right, the suggestions of a formulation based on Su or fire and Gar flame, thus yielding the flame of fire, are considered folk etymology, which we'll go with. The Sugoi, another name for the deity, has two possible interpretations. Either a Sug plus OHI, former old serpent, or Sugoi, high fire. There's no likely etymology for the third name of this god, Maju. But that's not true. What does Maju mean? How are they going to say there's no etymology? Okay, alright, we're going to look it up. Oh, there's no etymology for Maju. Really? Told y'all this is gonna be a long video. Cause we're gonna have an understand. Okay, Maju is a Japanese girl's name that has different meanings depending on the source. It means longevity, congratulation, auspiciousness. Maju is a name that means guider, discipline, and adventurer. And there's no actual, let's see. It's usually used for a name girl. It's associated with Leo. The symbol is the royal throne. And it's associated with Virgo. That's interesting. All right. We got a little bit of information from there. Let's see. So they don't really know where the name came from. Isn't that interesting? To me, it's always interesting when they have no idea where the names come from. Maju. Okay. Dang, they really don't know. All right. They really have no idea, which I love even more. All right, so let's keep going. The local legends on Sugar. In Aton, he is said to have two homes in the caves of Amunda and Atera. And he is said to have been witnessed crossing the sky in the form of a fire sickle, which is considered a presage for storms. So if my memory serves me correctly, didn't they just see one of these guys crossing the sky with the sickle in front of a storm? All right, in Koitia, Sugar is clearly identified with Maju. He meets Mari on Friday, so Maju would make sense. The day of Akar or Sabbat, conceiving storms. In Betelu, Sugar's name is Suwara and considered a demon. They say he travels through the sky in the shape of a fireball between the mountains of Belardi and Etora. All right. Then they have a Basque dragon. Okay, we're not going to get into the Basque religion right now. Let's go into the Mari religion. All right, so we're moving along the story. So as you can see, just to summarize Mari, she was half of the primordial goddess. The primordial godhead, basically, where you had Mari and you had Sagar. Okay? Or soup. I call him Sugar. We'll call him Maju. You have Mari and you have Maju. Okay. The Mari religion, also known as Mari paganism. Now remember, when you see that word pagan, they're talking about the original people to the land, which is referring to our people, okay? Minus Judah and Levi. Judites and the Levites, not included in pagans. Just to be 100% clear, no Judites, no Levites are typically considered to be pagan. They went off and did their own thing. I think the tribe of Benjamin kind of went with Judah too, but for sure Judah and Levi went off in a separate direction, and a bunch of people went with them. The ones who did not go with Judah and Levi, they're talking about pagans. They're all the pagans. Sumerians, Sumerians, Canaanites, the mixed multitudes, all of that. They're talking about pagans. They're talking about parts of these 12 tribes. For real. All right. Is the ethnic religion of the Mari people a Volga-Finnic ethnic group based in the Republic of Mari El? Mari El in Russia? What? Hold on. We got to just pause. Mari El? Get out of here. Mari El is a republic in Russia. It is in the European region of the country along the northern bank of the Volga River and administratively part of the Volga. So you mean to tell me Putin is protecting and look at the flag. The coat of arms is oh my goodness, a bear with a crown. Okay. Mari El, one of Russia's ethnic republics, was established for the indigenous Mari people, a Finno-Ugric nation who have traditionally lived along the Volga and Kama rivers. The majority of the republic's population are ethnic Russians, with a significant Mari minority, which is 40%, and smaller minority populations of Tatars and Shuvish. The official languages are Russian and Mari. Mari El is bordered by Nizhny Novgorod Oblast to the west, and maybe Maju is El. Tatarstan to the east and Chuvashia to the south. Let's see history. Okay, ancient Mari tribes were known since the 5th century. Look, Mari El. This is so crazy. Ancient Mari tribes were known since the 5th century, though archaeologists suspect Mari culture is much older in its roots. Later, their area was a tributary of the Volga, Bulgaria, and the Golden Horde. In the 1440s, it was incorporated into Khanate of Kazan and was occupied by the Tsardom of Russia, governed by Ivan the Terrible, and after the fall of Kazan in 1552. After the Russian Revolution over the Bolshevik regime, Mari Autonomous Oblast was established on 4 November 1920. It was reorganized into the Mari ASSR on 5 December 1936, at the same time the enactment of the 1936 Soviet Constitution, not 1369. Okay, in its present form, the Mari El Republic was formed on 22 December 1990, right after the winter solstice. Get out of here, man. On 21 May 1998, of course, you know 21 May or 22 May, that's Moses' birthday. Mari El, alongside of Amur, Ivanovo, Kostromo, and Voronezh Oblast, signed a power sharing agreement with the federal government, granting it autonomy. The agreement was abolished on 31 December 2001. The name of the republic is based on the ethnic self-designation of its indigenous population. Mari, from man or husband, and El, or land. Wow. They have a head, not a president. Ethnic groups. Though the Mari people have lived in the area for millennia, they did not have a designated territory before the Russian Revolution of 1917. According to the 2021 census, only 58.2% of the Mari within Russia live in the Mari El Republic, while 20 live in the Republic of Bakorstan, consisting of Eastern Mari who fled to Bakorstan to escape religious persecution. During the last Soviet census, 1989, 4% of the Mari of the Soviet Union lived outside of Russia. These people all live in Russia. Since World War II, more ethnic Russians and Tatars have moved into the area. According to the 2021 census, Russians make up 52% of the republic's population, up from 47% in 2010. Everyone takes a census every 10 years? Okay. While the ethnic Mari make up 40%, down from 43.9. Other groups include Tatars and Chuvash and a host of smaller groups, each accounting for less than 0.5% of the total population. The religions with the most adherents in the Republic are Russian Orthodoxy, of course, because it's mostly Russians there, and the Mari native religion, the Old Believers, and Islam. The Old Believers. What is the Old Believers? Okay, I'll come back to that. The traditional Mari religion, Chamari Yula, is still practiced today by many Mari people and is the main religion of the Mari of Bakorstan, also practiced as in synchronicity with Christianity. The Tsars took drastic measures to force Christianity on Mari, going so far as blowing up a holy mountain. And the persecution of the religion went under the Soviet Union. During the 1990s, the religion was officially recognized by the state and began to revive. The Mari gather around 520 holy groves where they offer animal and vegetable sacrifices. There are about 20 festivals yearly. Although the Mari traditional, we're going to read about this, religion is one of Mari El's 3 officially recognized religions, along with Orthodoxy and Islam. All the same, Mari religious practices have come under increasing pressure according to human rights groups. According to a 2012 survey, the population of Mari El adheres to Russian Orthodox Church. What are the Old Believers? Oh, 1% are old believers. And then they have people who are unaffiliated. Those are the old believers. The old believers are Eastern, so these are still Orthodox. Listen, okay. The old believers or old ritualists, are Eastern Orthodox Christians who maintain the liturgical and ritual practices of the Russian Orthodox Church as they were before the reforms of Patriarch Nikon of Moscow between 1652 and 1666. Resisting the accommodation of Russian piety to the contemporary forms of Greek Orthodox worship, these Christians were, I can't pronounce that word, together with the ritual in the Synod of 1666, of course, producing a division in Eastern Europe between old believers and those who follow the state church in its condemnation of the old rite. What is the old rite? Russian speakers refer to the schism as Raskol, etymology, a cleaving apart. Oh, so there are lots of people who cleaved apart. Okay, in 1652, Nikon of Moscow, patriarch of the Russian Orthodoxy Church, until 1658, introduced a number of ritual and textual revisions with the aim of achieving uniformity between the practice of the Russian and Greek Orthodox churches. Nikon, having noticed the discrepancies between the Russian and Greek rites and texts, ordered an adjustment of the Russian rites to align with the Greek ones. In doing so, according to the old believers, Nikon acted without adequate consultation with the clergy and without gathering counsel. After the implementation of these revisions, the church suppressed, with the full support of the Muscovite state power, the prior liturgical rite itself, as well as those who were reluctant to pass the revised rite. Those who maintained fidelity to the old existing rite endured severe persecutions from the end of the 17th century into the beginning of the 20th century as schismatics. They became known as Old Ritualists, a name introduced under the Empress Catherine the Great, who reigned from 1762 to 1796. Those who adopted new liturgical practices started calling themselves those believing rightly. Golly, these people are insane. We're not going to talk about the reforms. I don't care about that. Okay. Here's the old practice. They spelled Jesus, I-S-U-S, like ISIS. Girl, I'm tired. What? Oh. So another thing in the trade. Okay, in the creed, they changed the creed from the old way was and in the Holy Spirit. Let me read y'all the rest of that so y'all get the context. Hold on, because this is a problem I actually have in the creed. Okay, so it says, and I believe in one. This is the new way. And I believe in one Holy Spirit, the Lord and giver of life. Okay, that's how it reads now. The old way, and in the Holy Spirit, the true Lord, and giver of life. That's a big difference. Okay, in the sign of the cross, they hold the thumb, ring, and little fingers together, extend the middle fingers, index and middle fingers touching with the middle finger slightly bent. Okay, that's the old way. And in the new practice, the thumb and the index finger and the middle finger are held together while the ring... Oh! Okay, so the difference is the old way, they had the fingers out when they signed the cross. The new way, they bend the fingers in. Okay? The old way, the number of phosphora in the liturgy is 7, and the new practice is 5. What is phosphora? Okay, so in the new way they do 5 instead of 7. And the old practice, the direction of the procession is clockwise, and in the new practice is counterclockwise. So let me explain that a little bit. When they come out of the church, in the front of the church, okay, it's hard to explain. But they do a procession of the priests and the acolytes twice during the service. The way they do it, they come out from behind the veil, quote unquote, is what they basically are referring to it as. They come out from behind the veil and they go counterclockwise around the icon and stand. So the old way, they will go clockwise around the icon and stand. So the new way, okay, so the Alleluia is different. So they say, Alleluia, 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 glory to thee, O God. And the old way is Alleluia, Alleluia, glory to thee, O God. So in the new way, there's 3 Alleluias. In the old way, there's 2. All right. Today's readers might perceive these alterations as trivial, but the faithful of that time saw rituals and dogmas as strongly interconnected. Church rituals had from the beginning represented and symbolized doctrinal truth, which is true. The authorities imposed these reforms in an autocratic fashion with no consultation of the subject to the subject people. Those who reacted against the Nicaite reforms would have objected as much to the manner of imposition as to the alteration. So what they're saying, okay, changes were also often made arbitrarily in the text. For example, whenever books read Christ, Nikon's assistant substituted the word son, and wherever it read son, they substituted Christ. Another example is wherever the books read church, he substituted temple, and vice versa. According to a source sympathetic to the old believers, the incorrectly realized book revision by Nikon, owing to its speed, its range, its foreignness of sources, and offending character, was bound to provoke protest, given the seriously assimilated not only national but the genuine Orthodox identity of the Russian people. The protest was indeed global. The episcopate, the clergy, both regular and monastic, the laity, and the ordinary people. Listen, people did not like this because basically what they did with the Russian, so in the Greek Orthodox Church, they already had taken out the mother, to be honest, to be just, they had already made these changes that were against the originality of, so for example, the Alleluia, Alleluia, Alleluia 3 makes sense if you're talking about mother, father, son, and Holy Spirit in that way. But if you're just talking about the Father and the Holy Spirit, that's who you're saying Alleluia, Alleluia to, then 2 makes more sense than 3. 3 means you're saying Alleluia to a person who doesn't deserve it. And so the Greek Orthodoxy had already gone down this path and already made all of these mistakes. But the Russians, being that they have this Mari religion, they had not made these same mistakes, because to me, it sounds like the old believers had really basically matched their old religion of Orthodoxy in the worship of Mari and Sugar or Maju to Orthodoxy. They laid it over top so that they were able to retain their original intent. And when these people came in and changed everything, they messed it all up. And people got upset. And they said, we're not participating in this. That makes completely sense. I mean, total sense. And then you've got like, oh, the ones who have priests, the one who don't have priests. All right, so let's go back. Because we were talking about the Mari religion and we kind of like got off into this, which is important. Okay, so we're not going to read all of this. All right. Followers of the Mari native religion perform public rituals and mass prayers and conduct charitable, cultural, and educational activities. They train and educate the younger generation and publish and distribute religious literature. Currently, there are 4 regional Mari native religion organizations. Prayer meetings and mass prayers are held in accordance with the traditional calendar. It always takes into the account the position of the moon and the sun. Public prayers are usually held in the sacred groves. Ceremonies are held by a rank of priests. There is a significant discrepancy between the pantheons of the lowlands Mari, who worship roughly 140 gods, and the highlands Mari, who worship about 70 gods. However, most of these deities are different forms of other gods. 9 deities are most important ones, and these are said to be the hypostasis of the high god Kugu Jumo. The Mari native religion includes tree worship and animal sacrifices. The Mari religion is one of Europe's indigenous religions, unbroken lineage which has survived Christianization and has coexisted with Russian Orthodoxy for generations. Today, many Mari are baptized as Christians, yet they attend their traditional prayer services rather than Christian masses. Listen to this. They're baptized as Christians because the baptism is a thing that unites all people in the holy church. The baptism is what Jesus brought us, okay? Let me just say it that way. The baptism is what Jesus, the Orthodox baptism is what Jesus brought us. What he told them to go out and baptize all the nations. That's what Jesus brought us. It's, now I'm sort of going back on my thing. I'm not getting baptized because I might. I'm seeing it's more and more important every time I get into this subject. Okay, they just attend their traditional prayer services rather than Christian masses. A 2004 sociological survey found about 15% of the total population of Mari El consider themselves adherents of the Mari native religion. Since Mari make up just 45% of the republic's population, about 700,000, this figure means that probably more than a third claim to follow the old religion. The percentage of pagans among the Mari of Bashkortostan and the eastern part of Tatarstan is even higher, up to 69% among women. Mari fled here from forced Christianization in the 17th and to 19th century. So this is a lot of women who follow the traditional religion. A similar number was claimed by this guy Victor, who found that between a quarter and a half of the Mari either worship pagan gods or are adherents of neo-pagan groups. Mari intellectuals maintain that Mari ethnic believers should be classified in groups with varying degrees of Russian Orthodox influence, including syncretic followers who might even go to church at times, followers of the Mari native religion who are baptized, and non-baptized Mari. Alright, so many gods in Mari have counterparts in ancient Hinduism and European religion. Isn't that interesting? Some gods and spirits in the Mari pantheon. We have Kugu Jumo, the main god, seen as a monistic godhead, also called Kurgarak the Elder. He's associated with a duck. Tul, the god of fire. Surt, spirit of the household. Saska, god of fertility. Kadru Jumo, god of thunder. Tutra, god of fog. Pershuo, the god of fate. Azrin, the god of death. Shudar Shamak, the god of the stars. Talmash, worker of divine will. Tiles, the god of the moon, also known as Tolze. Talze. Use Hara, the god of the dawn. Oh, this is where the Hara comes from. Cognate with Yusha. Maland, the god of the earth. Shulkin Ava, the goddess of childbirth. Tuna, the goddess of the universe. Karamet, the evil spirit. Many of these gods, especially those controlling natural phenomena, have female counterparts with the name ending in Ava, as in mother. So like Tul Ava, the goddess of fire. Maland Ava. So these are all the male versions. Okay. The goddess of the earth. Kutro Ava, the goddess of thunder. Oh, okay. So we're not going to go into their whole mythology right now. I just want to show y'all this, which is insanity to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. And then the main one in the middle makes 9. Anyway, that's, all right. So that is Russia. That's Basque. Now we're going to go into the Hindu. So, it says it's not to be confused, but we're going to go ahead and confuse it. Miriyam, often abused as abbreviated to Amon. Amon, like Ammon, like, oh my. Look, y'all, I can't make this up. All right. Is a Hindu goddess of the weather, predominantly venerated in the rural areas of South India. Her festivals are held during the late summer, early autumn season of Adi throughout Tamil Nadu and the Deccan region, the largest being the Adi Thiruvia. I'm going to mess all these names up. Her worship mainly focuses on bringing rains and curing diseases like chlorella, smallpox, and chickenpox. Mariaman is worshipped just like Maria, okay, in accordance with local traditions such as Pidari or the Gramadevatai. She is considered as a guardian deity by many South Indian village dwellers. So this is a guardian, which is interesting. All right. Mariamman's worship originated with the traditions of Dravidian folk religion. She is the main Tamil mother goddess, predominantly venerated in rural areas of South India. Mariamman has since been associated with the Hindu goddesses like Parvati, Kali, Durga, Rukmini, Sita. Oh, Sita. Oh my goodness. Sita is one of my favorites. Darupadi, as well as with her northern Indian counterpart Shetala, her eastern Indian counterpart Olai Chandi, and her western Indian counterpart Mogal Mata. So here we go, got Mari again, Mata, Iva. All right, the word Mari has the Sangam Tamil origin meaning rain, and the Dravidian root term Aman means mother. Oh, Aman means mother. So how they got, I'm not going to go back. That's another video I already did. Okay. Mari Aman. It means the mother of rain. She was worshipped by the ancient Tamils as the bringer of rain and thus also the bringer of prosperity, since the abundance of the crops was dependent largely upon adequate rainfall. The cult of the mother goddess is treated as an indication of society which venerated femininity. The temples of the Sangam days, mainly Madurai, seem to have had priestesses to the deity, also appear predominantly as goddesses. In Sangam literature, there's an elaborate description of the old rites performed by Kuvar priestesses in the shrine. Okay, Mariamman is usually pictured as a beautiful young woman with a red-hued face wearing a red dress. Okay, she had a red-hued face, right? Who are the Reds? Who are the Red Indians? No. I'm just saying. Who are the copper color Red Indians? Who are they talking about? What people are they talking about? Okay? Because if you see Indians, even the ones in India that look like us, they're not copper. There's only one group of copper colored people on this planet that's truly copper colored with red undertones in their skin. A lot of the Indians, they have yellow undertones in their skin. I only know this because I did makeup for a while. They got yellow undertones, they got green undertones. It's only one group of copper colored people with red undertones. You can tell by the skin who's got red and who's got other colors. Okay, I'm sorry. A little tangent. Now I don't remember where I saw. Okay, sometimes she is portrayed, and of course the red dress, of course Mary, the icons. Here we go again with the whole thing. Okay, sometimes she is portrayed with many arms representing her many powers, but in most representations she only has 2 or 4. Why? We can multitask. We look like we're doing 1,000 things at once. We're juggling all this stuff. I always said that about, that's what all those arms mean. And if you look at Praveen Mahan, I share some of his stuff. Actually, I share a lot of his stuff. He talks about how those images are often like dance moves, you know, like when they show they got 8 legs, it's because one move is like with your hands up and your hands down, then another one with your hands open, your arms out, then another one with your hands at the side, and maybe your legs are back, or one leg is up or whatever, and then all of those are like moves. So they show all of the moves in one picture so that you can understand whatever it is. They do that with knots. It's really interesting. his videos are to me, especially when he goes into these older temples. Miriyam is generally portrayed sitting or standing position, often holding a trident. A trident? A trident? You mean like Poseidon? You mean Poseidon comes from Mary? I'm sorry. All of these gods come from Mary. Mary is the top goddess, okay? Everyone comes from her. No one can go to the Father except through the Son. And the way the Son came was through the portal. So you cannot get to the Father unless you go through the portal of the Mother. Period. Point blank in the story. Jesus said it for you a bajillion ways, and people still don't understand what's going on here. All right. She has a trident in one hand and a bowl in the other. One of her hands, she displays a mudra, usually the Abhadra mudra, to ward off fear. She may also be presented with two demeanors, one displaying her pleasant nature and the other her terrifying aspect, with fangs and a wild mane of hair. Doesn't that sound like our women? Let's look at this. What is this mudra? Oh my gosh! Listen. This hand thing, I shared, maybe I didn't. I shared a video from Argith where they were talking about how they had a hand. This is the right hand. They had a hand symbol of protection that they put over the door. So now we know it was to ward off fear, to keep the fearful ones out. Lord have mercy, y'all. We got so much work to do. All right. Legends. The origin of the goddess Miriyam, in terms of a consistent and coherent legend, has not been standardized, but several myths of the mother goddess exist in several regional traditions that are spread throughout South India. According to a regional Hindu legend, there was once a beautiful woman named Nagavali, wife to Rishi named Piru. When the Rishi was away, the Trimurti, the deities of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, they have a trinity too, that's right, visited her, seeking to decide for themselves if she was truly as beautiful and virtuous as she was supposed to be. Nagavali, Naga, like nigga, like Negroes, Nagavali. Let me write this down. We're gonna look that up. What Vali means. I gotta take notes during my video. You know this is like crazy. This is crazy. I got to take notes during my video so I don't forget to come back and look that up. Nagavali. We got to look her up, man. Nagavali. Okay, I'm sorry. Now I know what those Naga eyes are for. Anyway, Nagavali, not recognizing them and resenting their intrusion, turned them into children with her powers. The deities were infuriated and cursed her, causing her face to become disfigured with smallpox. When Peruhu returned, he drove her away, informing her that she would be born on earth, causing her affliction to human beings as well. Dag on it, because I didn't know who you are and you entered him. Okay, we're going to keep going. According to the Vaniyar community and agrarian class, Jarupi, the common wife of Pandavas, is said to be an incarnation of the goddess Shakti. Draupadi, despite being Shakti, lived like a normal woman, suppressing her supernatural powers. While they were in exile, when the Pandavas were asleep at night, she would travel to the villages of Vaniyar in the form of a fierce-looking goddess. Vaniyars would offer her prayers and barley, which pleased her. Remember, barley is one of our foods from the wow. So barley is associated with this goddess. What's her name? Draupadi. Draupadi. Remember, barley is one of our 8 foods of the promised land. So why would Moses tell them that in the promised land you're going to be given barley? And remember, barley also protects you from, is it the, let me look. It was in your magical notes. Here we go. Barley protects you from these witch mothers. Let's see. Barley protects you from charms. Or curses. Well, I would say voodoo. So you remember. So barley protects you from charms. It's associated with this goddess Draupadi. Okay? And she was an incarnation of the goddess Shakti. This is very interesting. Okay. Vaniyars would offer her prayers and barley, which pleased her. In time, she would be called the Miriyam, the mother of rain and curing diseases, and became popular with the Vaniyar villages. And both of these, all of these might be what actually happened, because these things will come down in multiple forms. Obviously, we've got all these different Marys, all these different. It's a reason for that. They come down in different forms. According to the narrative of the Higher Varnas, there was once a parish boy who impersonated a Brahmin suitor in order to marry a Brahmin girl. This lie is discovered by the girl when she discerns the jargon and non-vegetarian habits of her in-laws. In order to ritually purify herself from the pollution of being married to a lone-born pariah, the girl self-immolates. The Brahmin girl is deified and named as Mariamman and becomes the goddess of the pariahs. That's crazy. In northern India, Shitala is worshipped in a similar way, predominantly by the Rajput Kshatriya close community. Shitala has a legend and plays a similar role in protecting villages from diseases. Okay, so let's look at her thing. Goddess of medicine. Mariamman is also cures so-called heat-based disease like pox and rashes. During the summer months in South India, March and June, people walk miles carrying pots of water mixed with turmeric and neem leaves to ward off illnesses like measles and chickenpox. We need this. Turmeric, pots of water. I'm just making notes. I might not remember where I got this from. Turmeric and neem leaf. To protect from illnesses like pox. Okay. All right. Wow. In this way, the goddess Mariamman is similar to the North Indian goddess Shitala Devi. Okay, fertility goddess. Devotees also pray to Maria Amman for familial welfare, such as fertility, health, progeny, or a good spouse. The most favorite offering is pongal, a mix of rice and green gram, cooked mostly in the temple complex or shrine itself in terracotta pots using fireworks. I'm going to look more into that pongal. I know what green gram is. All right. Some festivals in honor of the mother goddess Mariamman involve nighttime processions of devotees carrying oil lamps. Oil lamps? So all of those parables about carrying the oil lamps is going back to this. I mean, you can't make this up. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't read all these articles. Like, I had no idea what we was going to find. I just did some basic looking. This is insane to me. All right. Mariamman is a female deity for many in the Thanjavur district of Tamil Nadu. It is a custom initially to worship the family deity on occasions such as weddings. The worship of a family deity is considered most important in any Hindu festival and continues down the generations, providing a clue to the family's origin, since family deities are usually located in the vicinity or the village to which the family originally belonged. So this is how you knew where the person was from, is based on who they worship. Same as, basically it is today. But anyway, let's keep going. This is the worship. Okay. The worshiping methods are often accompanied by various kinds of folk dancing. Oh, dancing. Offerings such as pongal or kus that are cooked using earthen pots are also made during the festive season. Rituals such as firewalking and mouth or nose piercing are also practiced. Oh, it's a spiritual thing, of course. In these temples, I won't butcher the names. The Hindu system of worship is still seen today for the worship of Miriyam, which involves a 10-day festival organized by some temple authorities during the second week in April. Oh, like when we're having this eclipse that's gonna cross over America? Oh, interesting. Some continue to use the old village custom of worship by offering chickens and goats to the deity, though animals are no longer sacrificed but sold after being offered. That's really good. The main worship of a goddess occurs on the road a mile or two from the temple. A hurried walk and dance carried hundreds and thousands of worshippers along the road to the temple. Many in the crowd have fasted, shaved their heads, and wear bright yellow clothes which are sacred to the goddess. Yellow. Women and children carry a pot on their heads decorated with the goddess's favorite leaves from the margosa tree. We'll look into that. I don't know what that is. Young men and women carrying similar pots, followed by drummers, and dance more wildly. Larger men and women carry pots of charcoal fire. Some women put themselves through a special tribulation of having one of the sacred weapons, dagger, trident, or spear, inserted through their cheeks or tongues. Ooh! 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 I have my tongue pierced. Oh my gosh. Wow. Though this worship, each individual achieves self-realization and awareness of others through samsara and moksha. This self-realization is a bonding with the goddess occurs, which the underlying reason for the worship. Man, I know I've been thinking about getting my tongue pierced. That's so crazy. Which festival was this? It doesn't even say. This is just a major festival. Okay. Mulakutu is a village festival celebrated in Tamil Nadu, particularly in these villages, districts. By doing so, they believe they can get her blessings and sufficient rain for better cultivation. The festival is generally celebrated between any Tamil month of Panguni to Pratrasi. The festival lasts for 11 days, from Sunday of the first week to Wednesday of the second week. Y'all caught that right? Sunday to Wednesday? Okay. On the auspicious beginning of the village festival, a village meeting will be convened to sort out the best suitable date for the celebration of Mulakotu. Before fixing any date, the Pradhana, secretary of the village, gathers some information from the villagers regarding any marriage or anyone suffering from chickenpox, etc. If anyone is affected by chickenpox, any sudden death occurred, or someone's marriage is taking place, under these circumstances, the date of the Malukatu will either be postponed or canceled according to the public opinion at the meeting. The celebration begins with the collection of 9 different types of grain seeds from every house, called Thandil in Tamil. The Thandil will be held in Sunday of Valaparai. The following Tuesday is the second day of Thandil, called Pari Praptual. Next Tuesday, the main function is held on a day called Mulakatu. On the next day of Thandal, the temple committee distribute the grains to every house for setting up of pari. The pari is a clay pot in a wide mouth and narrow base with a hole in the bottom. This utensil is specially made for this purpose and sold at the market. The villagers visit the market and purchase a number of paris as they want to set up in their home. The first step is to set them up is to clean the paris in their home on the second day of Thandal. People used to collect goat dung and some hay. The hay is used to block the hole of the pari. A layer of goat dung is spread over the hay and water to make the dung wet. This is a procedure for setting up the pari. The next step of this, the received 9 type of grains from the temple committee is smoothly spread over the goat dung on the pari. Following this, the puja will be arranged for praying the goddess to make the pari a successful one. Every house may have more than 2 paris. These paris are taken into a dark, isolated room in their house. For the next 7 days, they have to grow the seedlings into a plant. Usage of a loudspeaker and crackers are completely banned during this period. During the evening, all villagers assemble in front of the Miriyam temple and sang folk songs known as Mary Patu and dance folk dances such as the Mulai Katu, similar to Kumni, Amon Oli. It is followed every day from Thandao, first day, to next Sunday, 8th day. The 9th day, called Thandao, means camping. On this day, the temple is closed and the folk pujas and dances are prohibited. The Aman Karagam is made in the village water body, and the person who fasts those 10 days is called Amadi. This person who is depicted as Aman. The Amandi take the Karagam and gave to temple. All paris are brought to the Aman temple from the houses on the 10th day of the Thandao. The paris remain in the Aman temple for one night, and on the next day, the last day, the 11th day, Wednesday, after a puja, paris will be issued back to the respective member. The Amandi again takes the Karagam, and the Mula paris are also taken from the temple. Finally, the Aman Kagam and the Mula paris are submerged into the village pond. It is also celebrated in Manduri Aman temple on the Tamil month of Adi. Wow. That is some kind of ritual, huh? What is this for? For rain, for better cultivation. Okay. Her worship has been brought across the Tamil diaspora, such as the Caribbean and all these other places. So they celebrated other places. This is the temples. We don't need to talk about the temples. Except I'd like to see. Okay, they have Mauritius. They have a temple in Vietnam, Thailand, South Africa, Pretoria, South Africa, Malaysia, Indonesia, Sri Maha Mariamman. Wow. Okay, in Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka. That's funny. I have friends from Sri Lanka. South Africa, and Pakistan. There are temples outside of India. Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Fiji. Oh, wow. Suva, Guyana, Vietnam, Trinidad and Tobago, Germany, South Africa. Wow. They have one in Trinidad. Okay, so think about it. I mean, let me just tie this in. We're not going to beleaguer this because we got way more stuff to get into. Think about this. There's a big oil spill outside of Tobago that everybody's acting like they don't know where it came from. They are, I think, trying to aggravate our mother. They're trying to aggravate her, and I do believe it's not going to end well for them. And that is also makes me think that there's a difference between the gods in the Indian or the Hindu pantheon. The ones that were blue may refer to the Judites and the Levites, and the ones that were like this color may refer to the other 10 tribes. That's sort of like the working theory I got now. All right, so this is actually Indian holiday I came across. It just happened. The reason why I came across my feed on Twitter is because they had this celebration and some people died. Hold on, let me pull that up so I can read it to you. I didn't want to, I'm not going to talk about these people being dead. That's horrible. But I want to tell y'all about the event. Let's see. I just gotta find it. I'm sorry this video is so long, but this is a huge topic. I thought Juno and Ops was a huge topic. Good God Almighty. This right here is huge. All right. let us talk about what happened. We are going to get to it. It was that long ago? I thought this was just... Oh, here we go. Okay, so 15 people died in Uttar Pradesh, in India, as a tractor trolley carrying villagers, mostly women and children, plunged into a pond on their way to the Ganges for a sacred bath on Magha Purnima. This Hindu festival involves prayers. Let me read the rest of the article. Prayers to Lord Vishnu, observing Satyarayan Vrat, bathing in the Ganges for spiritual purification, performing charitable deeds, and offering prayers to the moon god. So these people were killed on the way to it's really horrific what happened. It is. But I wanted to read to y'all what this thing was. So Magh San is a famous practice to take a dip in the holy water of the Ganga River in the mouth of Magh. This is also known as Magh San and normally falls in the month of February. Now remember, according to our Juno information, February is a ritual purification month. Juno being the goddess of that purification. And so this is one of the ways that people will purify themselves during that time. Okay. It Magh San begins on this day of Parush and ends in the day of some other day, Purnima. Purnima. What's the problem? You don't need it. Okay. All right. Purnima, or the full moon observed in the month of Magh, is known Magh Purnima. So they're talking about the full moon that just happened yesterday. This just happened. This was in relation to this full moon that is literally happened yesterday. A Magh San is taken on the day of Purnima is considered extra beneficial and is believed to fulfill all of the wishes of the devotees and also provide them with the right path for achieving salvation. It is also said that performing the Magh San relieves one from all the sins. This is nothing but a baptism. So they baptize themselves in this month every year as a purification. This is what they do. A large number of devotees visit the Sangam Ghat in that place I can't pronounce, where the river Ganga, Yamuna, and Swati meet, and take a dip in the holy water. Devotees from not only India but other countries as well visit Prayag to take part in Kalpavas and perform Magh San on the day of Purnima. This article presents complete details related to Magh San. Okay, so I just wanted to, this came up, so I was like, oh, this has got to be related somehow. All right, so now I was looking up the name Mari, like to see, okay, what does it mean? Where did it come from? And this article came up, and then something else I found a couple days ago came up, and so we're going to tie those two things together. So now we're going into this Mariella. All right. The name Mariella is believed to have originated from the Latin name Maria. Well, that's not true, because we know that Mari was the goddess of the Basque, and that's way before this time. And we have Mari Anam. How you pronounce that name? Mari Aman, which is also way older than this. So they don't even know what they're talking about already. And it means beloved or graceful. Over the centuries, the name Mariella has evolved and taken on different forms in various cultures and languages. In some cultures, Mariella is also associated with the Virgin Mary, as Maria is a Latin form of her name. In Spanish-speaking countries, Mariella is a common variation of the name Maria and is often used as a nickname for women named Maria. In recent years, how's the nickname going to be longer than anyway? The name Mariella has become more popular among Hispanic communities. So different cultures place different levels of significance on names. In some cultures, a person's name is believed to have profound effect. Okay. listen, this is what I want to say in this article. Okay. David means, for example, David means beloved and is associated with strength, wisdom, and courage. Similarly, the name Moses means drawn out of water and is associated with liberation and freedom. I just want to pause right there. Mari is the goddess of the water, and Moses' name means drawn out of water. Who do we think Moses was talking to when he went up on that mountain? Even the discussion of the mountain. I had said in a video almost a year ago that I believe when he went on that mountain, he was talking with a female goddess based on the conversation. This is basically tying it up because Moses means drawn out of the water. Mari was a goddess of the water and lived on a cave in a mountain. This would have been obvious to people who knew this mythology. You can't not see that. Just to even to make sure that you didn't miss the point of the story, that Moses got his power from Mari. His name was Moses, which is drawn out of the water, out of Mari. And he went on a mountain to talk to Mari. Mariel. And that's Mariella. This is Mary L. Mariel. This is Mariel. This is the same thing, that country we just talked about. This is the same thing. These names are this is the same exact name. Mari, Mari, and L, E-L, and then an A on the end, because it probably should be Mariel, but Mariel. Same thing. Let's look at this real quick. Okay. The Hittites, okay. The Hittites were people that in the Bible they were always battling with, right? But the Hittites were also pre-Roman. And so this is how I ended up with the Hittites. But here, let's look at this. The sun goddess of Arena. So we have, let me make sure I got that right. Amon and Arena, okay? Arena. Oh, I clicked something. No, I want to click. All right. Arena, and we got Amon. Very close. Ari, just without the M. Mari, Niti, okay? Arena. Mari, Na. NNA. That's probably a different kind of name. Anyway, sometimes identified as Ariniti or as Ruru. Simu is the chief goddess and wife of the weather god Tarhuna. She protected the Hittite kingdom and was called the queen of all lands, Mari. Her cult center was the sacred city of Arena. The sun goddess of Arena and the weather god Tarhuna formed a pair. Together, they occupied the highest position in the Hittite state's pantheon. The pair's daughter is Missoula, by whom they had the granddaughter Zintui. Zarthui, we talked about that. The other children were the weather god of Nerik, the weather god Ziplanda, the corn god of Teli Pinu. The eagle served as her messenger. In addition, so if you've seen eagle, like one day I saw a rainbow, I saw an eagle, and I saw something else. I saw 3 things on one day. I was like, okay, that's a message. The eagle served as her messenger. So we know we see eagles. This is the sun goddess. In addition to the sun goddess of Arena, the Hittites also worshiped the sun goddess of the earth and the sun god of heaven, while the Luwians originally worshipped the old Proto-Indo-European sun god Tiwaz. It also appears that the northern cultural sphere of the early Hittites, there was no male solar deity. So the sun was not really associated with a man. This is new. Like, That's why those people were upset in that other article that they intermixed Christ and Son, because the Son was never associated with a man to them. Christ, the Messiah, is a man. The Christ is a woman, the Christos Sophia, not a man. The Christo Mary, not the freaking son, as in male. That was never the case. Okay, so I want to talk about the language, because this is where I was like, okay, so let's read this. The main evidence for a laryngeal theory in Indo-European linguistics is mainly based upon the 1927 work of Jersey titled A Indo-European at H. Hittite. The main logic was based on previous laryngeal hypothesis by Ferdinand, and Jersey took the Hittite vowel H as a direct remnant of 3 different laryngeals, later supported by a linguist, Hermann Moeller. In this section, I will demonstrate the logic mentioned above is false, and the Hittite H is a direct cognate to H, K, G, and Z in modern languages, meaning that if those would also be a remnant of laryngeal, then it would not have any coloring effect on the neighboring vowels and would show the Anatolian branch is not more ancient than Sanskrit, German, Slavic languages. So they're saying all these languages came about at the same time. Oh, like the Tower of Babel, when everybody broke off into their own different language and they couldn't understand each other. Anyway, the initial G and K became H in Hittite, similar to what happened after the occurrence of Grimm's Law in Germanic languages, and similar to the Slavic correspondence initial G and H. For example, in Polish, grad, in Czech, grad. Indo-European connection is the first one to notice the occurrence of this novel linguistic law in Hittite. 8th of August 2022. Okay, so let's look at the word sheep. Sheep is Hawaii. In Zakari is Kavir. In Hebrew is Kevez. In Cornish is Davas or Kavas. In Sami is Sava. In English is scape, sheep, scapegoat. In Albanian, squap or male goat. In Latin is capara, male goat. In Latvian is keve or mare. In Polish is kobila or mare. Okay, here's another word, haunt, which in Albanian is kond or front. Front means haunt. Kond in Albanian is the H and the K is intermixed. Bone is hostile. In Bulgarian is kost. In Polish is kosi. In paula it's hide. So again, you have the B's for the H, the H's for the K's. In eagle is hara, right? In Evenki is Kiran. In Aberjani is Kartal. In Hindi is Garu. So you have K sounding, G sounding, Q sounding vowels that all go together. So in ancient Greek is Hirax, Hara, or Falcon. So here again you have the H. Okay? To ruin or destroy or crush is Hark, Harganu. In Old Armenian is Korkanel. So you have literally K's and H's and intermix. And the reason why I bring this up, because it's a name that people use for Marihala, right? And I said, well, what does that mean? Like, that's why I ended up with Mariella, because I was like, I looked up Marihala and I got Mariella, and I was like, well, what does Marihala mean? And here you have a basic saying. It could mean Hala could be Kala, like Mari Kala, like Kala being I can't remember what I saw. Let me see. No, let's look that up. So we know we could trace it. Let's see what Kala means. What? I should have put name. Also makes me think of the art. Okay. See, look. Kala is a female name of Indian origin that means art. So, in the last part of the name of a volcano in Maui, which means house of the sun. So you have Mari Hala or Mari Kala, meaning the house of the sun. She is the house of the sun. What does that mean? Think about the eclipse. The moon overcomes the sun, making Mari Kala, as in the moon, the house where the sun dwells. Is the only. I mean, it's the only one that blocks the sun from the earth. There's no other celestial body that comes into contact with the sun in which the sun is blocked from the earth, except for the moon, especially during a lunar eclipse. So if you're going to think of a house of the sun where the sun is darkened, you're thinking of the moon. So the name Kala could be of American origin, means different mind, mind of power, eager, smart, or princess. Of course, princess. Mari Kala could be the moon in princess form. I don't know. This is very interesting. So, okay, let's go back. Now, okay, so we talked about that Hittite stuff. Very interesting. Okay, so now let's move on. All right, this is the next section. I might try to put sections on this video if I can figure out how to do it. Let me take a sip of my pink chai. All right. So, okay. Just like we discovered that there was a gameplay where they had their people engage in this gameplay where they were using the solstices against us in this gameplay. That was when we talked about the three sisters and that thing that they do in London, somewhere in Britain, every single cycle, they're playing out something that plays out in real life where they're attacking us. This is what they've been doing. So just like they have that, they also have this. This is called Santharia, right? This is a game. Like, I think it's an actual, I don't know if it's just a video game or if it's another one of these things where they actually play it out. I don't know. I can't really tell. But what I can say is this site has not been updated since October of 2016. Okay, so whether this was a real game that they were playing, whether this was a whatever, in 2016 October, so this was before Kenkel's lost fantastically because she called black men super predators, and everyone thought, oh yeah, black men are gonna go out and and she didn't call them super predators. I think that was Bite Me. But anyway, she is the Wicked Witch of the East, and as I have also mentioned, it is my belief that she is the voice, the mouth, the intercessor for the negatively polarized version of the Levitical priesthood, due to the nature of where she's from, due to the nature of her beliefs, due to her absolutely verifiably being a witch and participating in flesh-eating ceremonies this person is a representation of the negative side of the, the Levites, the Levitical priesthood, as I called them. And so this site was not updated after that. Again, at this time in my life, personally, just throw me in here, this is when I started really studying anthroposophy. Because I was following people who were anthroposophists. And so they had sections on their site where they would talk about these interesting things, these interesting spiritual things I had never heard, but always intuitively related to, but I didn't know how or why or any of that. And so I started following these anthroposophists. And so this site is no longer updated prior to, this whole thing. So I feel like this was a thing that they had been doing, but we were able to, because we got into spirituality in this way, we were able to ward them off. So that's, my understanding of this. And so the link will be in here. You can take a look at this. So let's look at their depiction of Mari, right? Mari is the goddess worship in the system of practices and beliefs known as shadow casting. Now, again, this is one of those things where all the language is weird. They made up all their own stuff, just like the that book that I found, I can't remember the name of the book. It was so weird. I can't remember, but it's just like the other stuff that I find where they, make up their whole religious system. They put it out there and they make it sound like it was some big religious system so that they can refer back to it. Okay. All right. And this is what came up when I searched for Mari. I was looking for Mari and this is what came up. Okay. And the Mermillions, we're going to talk about, we'll go back and read about that group. She is believed to reign over everything of this world and is opposed to a principle of nothingness and destruction known as the unspoken, which is strangely enough credited with the task of creating the world on which Mari reigns. So this would be the creator. Again, Mari is not the creator. The creator is a different person, but they don't talk about the creator. The creator has done his job. He is off creating. Okay, that's what the creator or creatrix does. They come in, they do their thing. It could be that the creator is a male and female as well, and Mari is the daughter. And so and she's in her daughter form when she's in this when she's here with us. She's our mother, but she is in another form the daughter of the creator. Okay, if that makes any sense, what I've been trying to say for months now. Mari is known as the goddess of dreams, goddess of hopes, or simply the mistress. Appearance. It is believed that Mari has many manifestations, as she is present in everything we do or we are. There are as many Mermillion cults as Mari manifestations, each cult depicting her in what form they think is important. The cult of the moth depicting her as a woman with the wings of a fire butterfly, usually embraced by a shadow. The resurrection Menaram, using purple eyes, glowing in the dark. The cult of fire depicts her as a strange-looking woman with an eerie, almost elven appearance. This image was the one that eventually passed the Centaurian pantheon after the events of the Year of Darkness, which is in this picture, which you can't see anymore. The elite of the Mermillions using a special kind of writing based on glyphs. The act of writing a text in glyphs is believed to be sacred and magical art. Okay, so this is why learning how to write in Hebrew is sacred and magical, because it's a glyph. Okay, one can touch the very essence of Mari, which is present in each and everyone's mind. Thus, nobility always depicts Mari just with the glyph that represents her. That's interesting. Close your eyes, my friend, as they will open up inside of you. This could be your first encounter. Book of Dreams, Volume 2. So I gotta look for these books, if I can find them. Mermillions do not see sentient beings as integral part of nature or world. Nature is a strange thing, merely a container or a means for people to relate with one another. Listen, Nature is there is no money, okay? There is no money. There's only a means of exchange. In this case, they're talking about nature. Nature is a means of exchange. There is no money. Money doesn't exist. It never has. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not dollars. It's not Federal Reserve notes. It's not nothing. There is no money, but there is nature. There is a means of exchange that we mutually agree on. So if I mutually agree to accept prayers in exchange for knowledge, that's mutually agreed upon. This is why the Most High is not asking us to do a lot of stuff. It's been mutually agreed upon. If you acknowledge nature, then you are acknowledging the Creator. That's the mutually agreed upon thing. You don't have to do a bunch of crazy stuff, all of this stuff. You just have to acknowledge nature. Now, since we do have these physical bodies, these nature bodies, this turns into different things. So for some people, you acknowledging nature is going and grounding. For some people, it's growing plants. For some people, it's praying. For some people, it's meditating. For some people, it's crystals. It's different for everyone. And different things work differently for different people. It's about understanding who you are as a person and how that interprets into this stuff. This is a very important statement because nature is merely a container, just like money is a catch-all phrase for the exchange of the medium, because there is no money. There's only a medium of exchange. There is no money. I mean, I'm not really supposed to be talking about that, but I need y'all to understand there is no money. There's only a medium of exchange. And if the medium of exchange changes, it doesn't matter because there is no money. It's just what everybody agrees to exchange in at this time. That's how it works. All right. Or nature is a strange thing, merely a container or a means for people to relate with each other. Natural things must be harvested or mastered. Either or. Okay? You're either harvesting dollars in exchange for your time or you're mastering dollars in exchange for your time. It's your choice. We'll talk more about that in another video. And only by gaining power over natural things can one can reach the very essence of what one is. We can be human, says Annie Mermillion, only by proving our power over nature. And proving our power over nature is not this patriarchal way that they've been doing it. They're talking about this in relation to a feminine goddess, not a masculine one. So you got to understand this. They're talking about this in relation to a female god, not a male god. Makes a huge difference. This being given, they also see everyone's life as a struggle between two worlds. The world of dreams, that which holds the essence, and the world of exile, that in which we are thrown, thus that which we must master. Mari reigns over the world of the dreams. She is the one that holds us together, the one that makes it possible. Her power is infinite, as she is the perfect being, a model for every sentient one. But she is not truly the creator. Her power manifests and infinite, but she is not the one that created all things that exist. Even she, eternal as she may be, cannot exist without something else. And that something else is that which can be called a creator. Though this notion is meaningless, related to something else. Here's what one of the most respected Mermillion Kernans, high priest or cult leaders, the highest clerical title, said about the relation between Mari and this something else. When darkness falls on our eyes, may close. Thus Mari manifests herself into our souls. And we know Mari is our dreams. Mari is our dreams. So the one who is navigating you through the world, through your dreams, is Mari. She is the dream that we always dream. But what would a dream be without the darkness which enfolds it? Nothing. Such is the husband of Mari. One cannot deny his presence, but one can deny his existence, as this is something that he denies himself. Such is the true dark one, the unspoken, the one that has no name, because there is no name for him in our souls. And like the husband, he holds Mari in his arms. We cannot perceive him, but only through Mari. We cannot, as we cannot perceive Mari, but only through him. Let me explain that. It's not confusing. It's not confusing. We can't see the mother without the father. Let's use the eclipse as the example. When the eclipse happens, we can't see the sun. We can't see the moon. The moon is dark. But we also can't see the sun either. The only way we can see the moon in an eclipse is through the sun that emanates around it. Without the sun emanating around it, we would not be able to see the moon because it's an eclipse. It's where the dark part of the moon covers it's where the dark, let me make sure that I'm saying that right. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Because if so, that is super profound. I'm going to have to just meditate on that. I got my little lunar calendar here. Just give me a second. Okay. Yeah, it's a new moon. I'm correct. Yeah, it's a new moon. We cannot see the moon without the sun. But the sun cannot be seen either. That is what that's talking about. You can't deny that the sun is there because the sun is darkened. So you know the sun is there because the sun is darkened. But you also can't see her either. You can only see her as a result of being able to see the moon. The light, the halo that's in all the icons around the moon, the darkness. Okay? The unspoken can be considered as the creator, as he is the one that by his very presence reveals everything. And just by revealing everything, he becomes unspoken. Mirmillions do not worship him, and every such tendency is considered to be a capital sin, something very dangerous for one's mind and soul. There are, though, some exceptions. For instance, around 1600 BS, this is their mythology, a lot of Mirmillions turned away from Mari, and influence of an Archon guild is supposed to be very important, trying to banish her worshiping in favor of the unspoken. This is what we're going through now. A series of strange phenomena occulting the light of the sun for quite an extended period of time was interpreted as a sign from this unspoken god, creating a general hysteria among them. As a result, they started to wage a furious war against their neighbors, the Aka Santera. Even today, Santarians remember with cold shivers the sheer horror of that year of darkness. 1649 BS. We're going to look. I want to see what happened in the year 1649. We'll come back to that in a minute. By a strange turn of fate, Mirmillions were defeated after a Santarian last stand for their capital city and then half conquered. Nowadays, Mirmillions who live under Santarian rule still emphasize this duality alongside the creator role of the Dark One. Also, Santarians have borrowed Mari, although they are now viewing her in conjunction with Thalison, and they emphasize her dark and deceitful side. So that would be Lilith. Lore. There are mainly two official books that gather most important texts and stories about Mari. The Sermons of Mari is a clerical writing compiling all the sacred formulas and texts of the various cults that worship Mari. The other one, called the Book of Dreams, is merely a theological inspiration, a compendium on glyph writing. The interpretation of the sacred texts and concepts and the history of the Mirmillions in a clerical view. It has 4 volumes on glyph writing, theological directions, the early prophets, and the children of darkness. The Sermons of Mari one can see the strange nature of Mirmillion worshipping. They like to listen to the cleric's paradoxical formulations, as they believe such verses can transport them above natural things, in that world of dreams from where they can reach their essence, master of natures. Spiraling in abyss, we taste your silver tears, O nightly butterfly, it's Mari, dancing on her wings alone. Every manifestation of Mari is an open gate towards this world, and every man is more or less intimately linked to such a gate. That is why every cult gets the same status and respect among them. What is common, though, to all cults is the attraction towards darkness and night, towards inner illuminance opposed to the solar light, which can be seen as deceitful and evil. We'll keep going. In the Book of Dreams, as opposed to sermons, contain more explicit information about the beginnings of their religion, which can be traced back to the War of Chosen and the disappearance of Menemoron the Purple, the powerful wizard that created the burning mountains. The other humans and elves claim that Menemoron was defeated and killed, but the Myrmidons believe the wizard has just left the world of exile by reaching his very essence, becoming the true enlightened one. On this leaving, they say, it has brought them the possibility of seeing and following the true path. By following Mari, they follow the path of Meneram. It doesn't matter what the name of Meneram's god. What matters is that that which they all call Mari, through that which they all call Mari, they can achieve complete power over this world of exile and become like Menemoran, able to leave and join the very essence. As we see in this rather exalted confession of one of the founders of the Myrmidon religion. You are my slumber, the abyss, that which walks under my blade, Mari. You call, you shout, you howl me. Take me with you. Though you are silent now and your eyes are veiling me, you call, you wait for me, you murmur in my ears, and I know you are the night. Okay. In every soul, the importance, every soul or sentient being dreams. And in these dreams, Mari is the one that walks. Mainly by dreaming and interpreting dreams, one is worshiping Mari. Interpretation of bliss is also similar a similar form of worship for the Myrmidons, though slightly different. The other forms of worship dedicated to Mari's manifestations in different things or actions can be reduced to this quite extended concept of dreaming. As in one instance, for them to think means to dream. The means of getting in touch with Mari are various, but they do not exclude strange behaviors akin to mass hysteria and induced hallucinations. We have prayers here. Let's look real quick at the Myrmidon men. Myrmidons are a folk of strong will and short temper. In their belief in the goddess Mari, they're willing to do much which appears weird, arrogant, or cruel to other people, but in their own way they can be loyal, comrades, and warm family members. Myrmidons are quite fatalist, as they do believe that some things are meant to happen. For instance, this very reason is what stands now between the Santorillian Myrmidons and the Free Myrmidons. During the last great war against the Aka Santera, which was started by them, as many believe the year of darkness would mean the rebirth of the dark god, Mari's spouse from beyond the world. They were defeated by the Astalon the Black, the only Centurion king said to be aligned to Mari. That's why a lot of families accepted Centurion rule being a part of their destiny. They were defeated because it was meant to be this way. Of course, many free Myrmidons are now regarded in Centurion families as the fallen families, and they are accusing them of tendencies to speak the name of the unspoken, giving their unfree status as an example of what could happen if one tries to deal directly with the Dark One. Some wise man said the Myrmidons are split between darkness and light, seeking the one by obeying the second. They're split between the darkness and the light, seeking the one by obeying the second. That's a split mind. The religious rituals of Mari, the main goddess of the Myrmidons, are always seemingly chaotic and are very mind-influencing, driving the participants often in states of hysteria, deep meditation, or hallucinations. They often use various rituals to determine the future, but those are more misleading and subtle than the ones known from the priests of the Aka Santeris Dalison, and are more detailed and presumably more powerful if interpreted correctly. The Centurions see Mari more as a goddess of illusion and insanity than one of destiny, thus being the antagonist. Okay, so these are the people who we're not going to read all of that. I just wanted to see And they have even like a history, but let's see what that black god is. That black king. Somebody the black? What? Astalon the Black. Astalon the Black Lord. Astalon the Black, also called Astalon the Curse, lived from 1683 to 1649. He was the third son of the ruling family of Delve and the last high king of the dynasty of Delve of Akasentera. He became the high king of Akasentera during the Year of Darkness and ultimately drove off the Myrmidon invasion that followed, a prophecy of ancient times, but only ruled for less than a year. After the war, he disappeared in the shadows of the burning mountains of Ebion, obeying the call of the priests of Barkais. Though he saved the High Kingdom from certain destruction, his reputation was always shadowed by his dark destiny and a life full of doubtful accidents and self-fulfilling prophecy. His life and destiny also describe the legend of the Stone King. So I'm not going to read all of this because this man got a whole real bio. Now remember, this is a game. Again, let me go back so y'all understand what we're talking about. This is a game. Look, about games. This is a game. This is a game. This is a game. Okay. The Centaurian Dream is an entirely non-profit, cooperative, world-building project where people from all over the world enjoy creating the same gigantic fantasy universe. We try to accomplish something together which single persons would never be able to achieve. People who help designing the dream are entry or story writers, poets, artists, map makers, even singers, music composers, and flash programmers. We follow the general fantasy world principles in the way J.R.R. Tolkien provided them, but the Centaurian Dream is not based on Middle Earth. However, you will find elves, orcs, and halflings in our concepts. The Centaurian Dream website is a site for designers and players alike. Developers communicate through the development forum, while players enjoy play-by-post role-playing, the role-playing message board. Also, we have developed our own browser game, Santh World, where you can play text-based graphic adventures and single-player role-playing games. This is a game. This is something that they, quote-unquote, came up with. This is a game based in Central European time, okay? This is a game. Not right now. I'm in the middle of something. This is a game. This is an actual game. I just wanted to make sure y'all understand. This is a game. They have put a lot of time into this. Now, how, they use Mari, I don't know. This is a lot. So, all right, we've gone through a lot. Now, we're going to wrap this up. When I was looking for Mari, just searching, I was looking at, it must have been another post on Twitter or something, and somebody was talking about this litany of Loreto. Now, this is really useful for understanding all of the parts of Mary. And so I'm going to read this part so you can understand. Now, this is from the Vatican. This is not from none of them other websites. This is the Vatican, okay? This is a well-known litany. I'm not going to say all of it because part of it has problems. It says, Holy Mary, pray for us. Holy Mother of God, Holy Virgin of Virgins, Mother of Christ, Mother of the Church, Mother of Mercy, Mother of Divine Grace, Mother of Hope, Mother most pure, Mother most chaste, Mother inviolate, Mother undefiled, Mother most admirable, Mother amiable, Mother most amiable, Mother admirable, Mother of good counsel, Mother of our Creator, Mother of our Savior, Virgin most prudent, Virgin most venerable, Virgin most renowned, Virgin most powerful, Virgin most merciful, Virgin most faithful, Mirror of justice, Seat of wisdom, Cause of our joy, Spiritual vessel, Vessel of honor, Singular vessel of devotion, Mystical rose, Tower of David, Tower of ivory, House of gold, Ark of the Covenant, Gate of Heaven, Morning Star, Health of the Sick, Refuge of Sinners, Solace of Migrants, Comfort of the Afflicted, Help of Christians, Queen of Angels, Queen of Patriarchs, Queen of Prophets, Queen of Apostles, Queen of Martyrs, Queen of Confessors, Queen of Virgins, Queen of all saints, Queen conceived without original sin, Queen assumed into heaven, Queen of the Most Holy Rosary, Queen of Families, Queen of Peace. These are all her names, plus all the other ones we've described on this whole thing. And so for these people to try to limit her and put her in a box and say she only does this or she only does that, is not only ridiculous, it's insanity. Pure and simple insanity. Pure and simple. And so you have in Mari, or Mary, or whatever name you call her, Mariana, lots of names she has. Mariel, some of y'all like that L designation. There you go. That's the unification of Mari and L. You can't make this stuff up. And so it's not just, oh, they like ignore her. No, they don't understand. Without Mary, there is no L. They go together. Without the Holy Spirit, there is no Father and there is no Son. Everything they say about Mary, the Theotokos, or the Virgin Mary is the same thing they say about Mari, this Basque goddess. How is that even possible? So I just wanted to document who this is. Mari's is Mari's the mother and the daughter. She's both. So there's no distinction between them. It's just when you're engaging with her, are you waiting for her to come and help you like she is the mother, or are you working beside her as a daughter? As the daughters of Zion, we are being called, and the daughters of Jerusalem are being called to work beside her, to help her fulfill the mission on this earth. This is the point of this. We are being called to assist. She has asked us to assist her in her process, which she did not at all have to do. And that's what this is about. It's about us assisting her in this process. She can't do it alone. She needs us to be her hands and her feet at this point. And it has to be the ones who choose. And so this is why Sophia don't really work with black women, because we rejected her. But now in her original Mari form, she is giving us an opportunity to rejoin her. And I just highly suggest that you all really contemplate this, really think about it, and see what you want to do, because it's not a requirement. You already know we doing over here on this channel. We 10 toes down because there's work to be done. And it doesn't mean that we have to do all the work or that we're going to be stressed out in the process. But there's things that we have to do, and it's not complicated things. The most important thing is that we acknowledge her existence and stop pretending like these things are happening all from some man. Some man is making all these things happening. No, the creator can't create without the creatrix. There is no father without the mother. There is no Father God without the Holy Spirit. And there's no Jesus without his mother who birthed him. That's the importance of her in the story. There is no Jesus without the mother who birthed him. Not who conceived, skip the conception. The mother who birthed him. He wasn't like Shem, who came from out of a cave. We don't know where he came from. Jesus' story of being birthed by Mary is well documented across all pantheons. Everybody got it. So there is no son without the mother. And we have to start to exemplify that. And not that we're ignoring the Father, absolutely not. But we understand that we have to be worshiping the mother in spirit and truth, because she is the reflection of the Father. And we are her reflections. And if we don't get in order, everything continues the way it has been. And we have to be balanced in our interactions. That's what the Moki marbles symbolize, the balance. And even Moki is, M-O-Q. That could be M-O-H, M-O-K, Mo, Mori, Moki, Mohi. Anyway, this video has been long enough. It's a masterpiece, if I say so myself. We have a lot more research to do. Of course, if anybody has any comments, questions, concerns, stuff they can, Bible stories that go along with stuff. I know there's tons of Bible stories that go along with this. That's fun. The M and the Q. It's this. We have a lot of work to do, and we're being invited in personally under this Virgo full moon to assist, to be her vessels and to help. And so you can accept the offer, you can deny the offer. It's up to you. I just wanted to give you the information. Nobody can say that they don't have the information. They all have it. Everyone's got it now. It's in the Internet Ley Lines, and so be it. So, shalom everyone. Peace and blessings to you all, and we'll see you in the next video.